And welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McCain. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. That's at DMac_LA. But as Mr. Gonzalez Chewy says, that was an angry win by the Dodgers. Dodgers get the win 5-0, and they finished the homestand 4-2, and give credit to the bullpen. The bullpen in this homestand, 2 earned runs in this homestand. They retired 19 of the final 21 batters they faced, and you got to give this Dodger bullpen lots of credit. What up, Ken Dotson? How you doing, my man? Hey, I know it's football starting today. Dodgers, they get a field goal and a safety, win 5-0. And the Dodgers back to their winning ways. I knew Sundays, we have a really good record on Sundays. Dodger post-game show. What up, Ryan Orion Montez? How you doing, my man? So what'd you guys think of the game? Who you guys have as your player of the game? It really came down to 2 home runs. Matt Beatty. Don't you love Matt Beatty's swing? It's compact. It's effective, powerful. He just turns on one. You love to see Matt Beatty get the Dodgers on the board with that 2-run shot. And then Corey Seager. Corey Seager, he's been struggling of late. Corey Seager, last 7 games, Corey Seager hitting a $136 with 3 hits coming into tonight's game. Jock Peterson, player of the week from Gabriel Roman. Jock Peterson this week. You want to give you his last 7? And today he hit some balls hard. Wasn't that Andre Ethier, that captain clutch bat, really has led to this power surge, this explosion from Jock Peterson. And Jock Peterson, you guys want his average for the last 7? We're talking 692. He's slashing 692, 714. He's slugging over 2,000, OPSing 2,700. So Jock Peterson is clearly sending a message saying, hey, I know we want Alex Verdugo back. And Alex Verdugo, he did have a setback. That strain, that oblique, he was playing with the Ogden Raptors, had a little setback. But by the way, I have not mentioned it yet. If you have not done so, you know how we get things kicked off. Throw those cities and zip. I like when you throw the cities in there, especially. I'm not always on point with my area codes and zip codes. Throw them in there. Got a big bag of shout-outs for you guys. But welcome into the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Boys in blue get the win 5-0. Let's get back to these comments. A little rapid-fire style here. PYKS. How you doing, PY? Legend of the Dodgers. All you guys, VIP members, Phoenix, Arizona. PYKS. Wallace, who cares? Just show up in October when it really counts. Hey, you got to take these steps, though. You got to approach. Teams don't win in October unless they approach everything from a day in and day out basis with the focus of a great team. So I beg to differ. I think the Dodgers, they're writing some things, they're workshopping some things, and I think that they have to play. They have to play to win. Look, the Braves lost tonight, but that home field over the Braves, that shrunk to 2.5 games, and then they're still in it with the Yankees and the Astros on their heels for best record. So since that Yankees series, I mean, the Dodgers are 10-10 in their last 20. Braves are 17-2. They lost today, so home field advantage is paramount, and you know what happens. Game 1 of the World Series, the home team wins that game 60% of the time. It's the biggest bump of any series in Major League Baseball. So it's important. It's vital. So I think there's plenty of incentive for this Dodger team, combined with the fact that you got guys that want to make this playoff roster, guys who might be on the outside looking in. And so every game is important to me. But you also want to have our starters healthy. So we're going to get into some topics in a second, but let me get back in here. A little rapid-fire style. Marisol, congrats, Dodgers, on a great win and hashtag beat SF and returning the favor on the Giants. Gabriel, Jock, player of the week. What up, Brian? What up, Doug? How you doing, my man? How's it going, player? Ryan, how about you? I'm just watching good. How about you? I'm just watching the Cowboy game. Hook it up with a little score. I may have been flipping back and forth, but no, man, I'm focusing in on the Dodgers, the boys in blue. But hey, football is back. But don't worry, 18 more games after today. Once this postseason comes along, it's going to be eyes glued to that postseason baseball. Ken Dotson, Mazda player of the game. I love that. Throwing a little sponsor. Mazda, if you want to sponsor the show. Actually, if anyone wants to sponsor the show, we're looking for sponsors. Big-time numbers generated here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. So hit us up. Looking for some postseason sponsors. Got a lot of people in the mix. Greg, go blue. By the way, Ryan, are you a Cowboys fan? Who's everyone's NFL team? Throw that in there. Who cares? I'll read it off. Russ Carrington, great. Wallace, great win. Maybe that can get them back on track. Look, You saw what happened this week. You had a team that offensively they started to sputter a little bit. They started to sputter a little bit offensively, and they've been kind of stuck in the mud. 4 hits last night, and when the Dodgers it's about getting runs. Yes, this pitching staff has been the bell cow. It has carried this team all season long, but the Dodgers, when they score 4 runs or more this year, the Dodgers are 60 games over 500. So putting points on the board is vital. You know the numbers when they go deep. Tonight they did it twice, and they did it in multi-home run variety. So they are starting to slip into that phase where they're becoming a little more reliant on that home run ball. If you look at it, the Dodgers are in their last 32 runs heading into, so now their last 35 runs, their last 37 runs, including today's game, doing the math on the fly, 37 runs. Now, 27 of those last 32 runs are from the home run ball. So the Dodgers hitting lots of home runs. That's great. We know they just broke the 2,000 Strohs record, but they do have to get a little more dynamic. And the stats show, the analytics prove that when the Dodgers score 4 runs or more, you combine that with the dominance of this pitching staff, that they're probably going to get a win at the end of the day. So here we go. Break down some more stuff in a segment. But like I said, throw those comments in there. I'm going to read off all your comments today. So we'll definitely get in the mix here. Russ, great. Wallace, great. Maybe think about Ryan Moore. We still haven't been looking as good as the Yankees and Astros. We need to set Baltimore ablaze. Look, you're going to see champagne in Baltimore, okay? They're going to be popping bottles in Baltimore right on top of the bar that used to be Babe Ruth's dad. So, hey, maybe that's a good place to drink, right? Good place to celebrate in Baltimore. I like that. The place where the Big Bambino's dad had a little bar back in the day. So if you don't know, Camden Yards was built on that. So the Dodgers are going to get it right. And you're right, they haven't been playing as great as the Yankees or the Astros. But do you want to peak in early September? Do you want to peak in early September? No, you do not. You want to get everything coalescing at the end of September, and to me, that's still in play because Alex Verdugo's on his way back. Yes, he had a setback. He took some dry swings. And back at the facility at Camelback Ranch, but he's going to come back. Rich Hill, he's going to have his start, I think, Thursday, right? And him this year, 2.55 ERA with a 1.11 whip on 53 innings, a 2.62 postseason ERA. He's going to come back, and he has a chance to be fresh, so I'm excited about the prospect of Rich Hill coming back. Also, you got David Freese is still getting his back into form. And also, we got to get Will Smith back on track. Will Smith it's been kind of mechanical, according to Dave Roberts, but Will Smith, last 7, 133. So I'm not worried about this team. Yes, they're in a funk. But they don't call it the dog days of summer for nothing. And they're just not. If the Dodgers had everyone back and they're still playing this type of baseball, then I'd be concerned. But they still have guys that are going to come back, and I do believe that the Dodgers are setting themselves up to peak at the right time. Also, let's talk about the positives. Kenta Maeda tonight. Kenta Maeda, he pitched very well. Very well, Kenta Maeda. Then also, Julio Urias, 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned run, 4 Ks on 43 pitches. So a lot to be excited about. We're going to but let's get back to your comments here. We got John Gotti. We don't care about them closing in on their 7th division title. It's about winning a World Series. Everything else they do is worthless. So let me ask you a question, John. If winning a 7th straight division title also means home field advantage throughout the playoffs, also means they're playing great baseball, also means that they're practicing good habits on a game in and game out basis, that's what it takes. You don't win a World Series in October fully. You have to set those habits, and you have to develop what it takes to win a World Series throughout the year. So this team, it sounds like some of you guys just want this team to flip a switch. I know what you mean. If the Dodgers don't win a World Series, I'm with you 100%. It would be heartbreaking. It would be a major disappointment. Heads will roll, and I will be with you, man. We will be on the same page, but I do think it's important to celebrate the victories along the way, and winning a 7th straight division title is not easy. It's been done very rarely. Look at the Braves. The Braves of the 90s kept knocking on the door, and by that fourth time, they got that World Series in 1995. So you just got to continue to try to consistently win year in and year out, and that's what we love about baseball. NFL's on today, right? Who's going to probably be the Super Bowl? It's probably going to be the Patriots, right? It's probably going to be one of the top-heavy teams. Last year it was the Rams. Baseball is unpredictable, and it's designed to break your heart, and that's what we love about it. But here we go. We got Bryant from SF. We got David Austin Wynn, Wallace, the 63132, Ken Dotson, McAllister, Oklahoma. Are you an OU fan? They're playing UCLA. They're coming in town. Lasorda is the magic number. Steve Meyerson. I love that. Tommy Lasorda is the magic number. They're getting down to it. We're closing in on it. And I agree. There's a lot to be made, and it's a great problem to have. The Dodgers, we are spoiled with success, and that raises our expectation levels to a point where, hey, it's Commissioner's Trophy or bust. We want this streak ended at 31, and I can see where you're coming from. So, but hey, that's what this show's about. Get your takes in. Throw those Dodger takes in, blistering hot takes. Who do you guys have as player of the game? You guys going with Corey Seager? I'm going with the bullpen as a unit. If you look at the bullpen, 19 of the last 21 they retired. They didn't even use Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly having a little minor injury. He didn't see time today. But we got the home run from Steven Samuel. Dodgers should stay healthy for the playoffs. And that's another factor, too. Staying healthy while winning games. Look, it's a tough – I'm glad I'm not getting paid to make those decisions, because those aren't easy decisions to make, because you do have to factor in, you have to weigh the pros and cons of winning each and every game, chasing that home field advantage. But then if they get to the playoffs, what's it going to mean if they don't have a healthy Hyun-Jin Ryu, if they don't have a Clayton Kershaw that's pitching his best? So, and it looks like with Hyun-Jin Ryu, they are going to have a miss a start. And it's clear. Look, since August 11th, he had an ERA of 1.45, best in Major League Baseball. And now, since August 11th, his ERA since that time is a 9.95. So he also has given up 5 home runs in 4 starts since August 11th, and that's compared to giving up only 10 in 22 starts before then. So, I mean, to me, fatigue, without a doubt, is a major factor when it comes to Hyun-Jin Ryu. If you look at it, he's pitched 161 and 2/3 innings so far this season, the most he's pitched since 2003. And 4 seasons before this year, he had pitched only 213 and 2/3 innings combined. So there is that element too. So here we go, Dodger. We got John Isles. How you doing, my man? 661 resident, vacationing with family in Badger 559. Are you a Niner fan? Who won that game against the Bucs today, Bryant? Are you a Jimmy Garoppolo fan? Jimmy Jesus. Dodgers to stay healthy. They're very important. Absolutely right. Ryan, Dodgers are obviously my favorite baseball team. No question about it. Boys in blue. By the way, go get this shirt, man. It's my favorite one. Brooklyn-born LA Rays. Go to DodgersNation.com. Get your merch game right. When the playoffs come around, all these T-shirts, they fly off the racks. Not a ton left. So you want to be geared up for that postseason. To me, it's actually my favorite one. I love the Brooklyn Dodgers. I'm a big fan of the Boys of Summer. The book, and I just loved all the history, so I love this one, Brooklyn-born LA Rays, but all the new ones are really fresh, too, so don't forget to cop a T-shirt. Wallace, I like champagne, so Wallace is going to be on his champagne campaign up in Baltimore. Wallace, Dodgers / Steelers, Saints, who dat? You got 2 teams. Ken, F autocorrect, that's funny. So that was autocorrect. I thought it was a Mazda player of the game, like we had a little sponsor. No worries, Ken. So Maeda's your player of the game. Yes, Kenta Maeda. You saw when Kenta Maeda, and the value of Kenta Maeda, we need to embrace him as a major asset. If you look at him, he is that perfect hybrid. He can give you extended relief, or with that slider, come in and get righties out right away. So I love him. And also, look at the velocity on his fastball. He was hitting 94 on it. He was commanding it. And then when he's effective with that slider and changeup, it sets up that fastball for Kenta Maeda. And if you look at him, comes in the third, comes in the fourth, 6 up, 6 down, back-to-back 11-pitch innings. He looks comfortable, and he's a guy who looks like he's putting in work, and he's setting himself up. They always want to say build yourself up to be a starter. It looks like he's building himself to fit perfectly, seamlessly into that bullpen role. Very exciting with Kenta Maeda today. And if you look at him, Kenta Maeda, he got the win. He got the win today. His ERA down to 4.07. So got to love that. Back to you guys, John Gotti. It's all about playing small ball. Dodgers always try to swing for homers. Pitching will stop that eventually when it counts. I agree with you, John. I agree. I am with you. You have to stress the importance of, like last night's game. They had the opportunity to maybe bunt a guy across. You're only down 1-0. Maybe you could have that element of it. And I do. Look, if this team, but like Joe Davis pointed out, the top 5 teams in Major League Baseball happen to be the top 5 most home run hitting teams in Major League Baseball. So you gotta go deep if you want to go deep in the playoffs. If you want to go deep in the postseason. And fortunately for the Dodgers, their style of offense fits with what wins today. But if you do take that and you say, hey, we're not a one-trick pony, and that's what Robert Van Scoyoc has done to this team. If you look at the numbers, the Dodgers, 2 outs, runners in scoring position. Today they were 1 of 4. Didn't get very many on base. The Dodgers have improved in a big time in that circumstance. So that's very promising. And also, don't underestimate when you get Alex Verdugo back, a guy who has the best contact rate for this team when he went out. That's gonna be big as far as a more diverse approach offensively. But I'm totally with you. It's something that would make this team even more unbeatable than it is in the National League, and could also really put them over the top and help them finish it off last year. Because if you look at the last 2 World Series, they hit 200 against Boston. The year before, they scored runs. Yes, they scored runs against the Astros, but they were hitting just over like 230, right? So it's about putting the bat on the ball. You got to get good wood on it. Look at Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor lined out 3 times tonight. Hard hit balls. Add some finesse to your game. Drop it in there. But get back to your comments, guys. Thanks for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. Just do me a favor. Share this on Facebook. Retweet on Twitter. You guys are part of the show. Just as much of your show as it is mine. It's your show. I'm just hosting it, reading off your hot takes. So don't forget to tweet, like on YouTube, all that great stuff. And then give me your blistering hot Dodger takes. I don't care what it is. Postseason roster stuff. Who do you think should be leading off? Who do you think should be the ace? If you just throw it in there, throw my name in there, trust me, I love to read those takes. Wilford, agree. Sean, Lux and Smith are really struggling. Look, the early returns for Gavin Lux, first game, 2 for 5, a double and a single. Second game, gets a single. Since then, he struggled mildly. He's not figured it out and caught fire early on like we saw with Matt Beatty, like we saw with Will Smith, like we saw with Alex Verdugo. But this is a tough spot. This is a tough spot for Gavin Lux. Last 7 for Gavin Lux. He's hitting 167, a double, 3 hits. So he didn't – look, that farm system in OKC, that's the golden goose. And the first 2 games, it felt like, oh, wow, this hype, the hype, he has lived up to that hype. He has lived up to that hype. And since then – but you can see what makes him an elite prospect. You can see how quickly his hands get through the zone. He's got a pretty swing. He's getting some hard contact. So he's going to figure it out. I think the great thing for Gavin Lux is, look, like I said last show, pros and cons for having Gavin Lux up right now. Pros, everything, okay? No cons. First of all, Muncy's injured right now. Second of all, we want to see what we have with him, and we're going to see if he can make a run at it because – look, if he catches fire in the postseason, he can be an extra wild card, but this is great for him. Other than that first year, he's really had success throughout his minor league career. You forget the guy, only 21 years of age, so all he knows is success. So a little adversity, that's going to be good for Gavin Lux, and trust me, this is a guy you can see that will to make adjustments. So I'm not too worried about Gavin Lux, but we definitely want to see him explode like we saw for the other ones. But we got Joseph Megazzeni, VIP member of the Dodgers Nation post-game show, DTLA, close to the ravine. I like it. We got Rafito, agree. Spider, by the way, yeah, if you're from LA, tell me whereabouts LA. LA is a city, has 88 cities within LA, 3 private cities, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, and West Hollywood. So shout out where you're from in LA. I'll always love to see that. So DTLA from a man Joseph Megazzeni. Spider-Man, Dodgers and Yankees World Series. Going to be 7 games, though, with a new talent like this, Lux, Verdugo, Jock, Pop, and Belly, Pollock, and more. So who do you? Yeah, look. If you look at AJ Pollock last 10 games, 293, 4 home runs, 7 RBIs. AJ Pollock is going to be a major factor for this team. They're going to need him and going to need his power from that side in a 3-homer game. Not the first time he's done that the other night. So great game for AJ Pollock. Joc Pederson, I'm riding this wave. Hey, trust me, keep that bat super hot. Keep him away from keep him away from anything cold right now. Keep him away from an ice slushy. Keep him away from anything that's cold because he is scalding hot. And I hope he can prolong this, but something tells me that he'll fall down back to earth, and that's probably going to be the case. But, hey, don't underestimate what he can do. When he gets bat on ball, there's a good chance that's going deep. 32 jacks on the year for Joc Pederson. If you look at it, 9 hits in his last 7, 5 home runs, 9 RBIs. So this guy's hotter than the devil's armpit right now. Keep it up, Joc. I definitely think that he should be on that playoff roster. I'm not a guy that say he doesn't belong because, look, 3 home runs in 2017. He can be a valuable platoon, can be a valuable pinch hit. Don't love to see him as a leadoff guy. So I think that Verdugo takes care of that. We got Joseph Megazzini. Where's Andrew Toles? I think his Dodge Challenger is still in that Chavez Ravine parking lot until recently, but he's dealt with some issues. Mash that like button, retweet for Andrew Toles. He's been going through a rough go of it in the last year or so. So, I mean, I love me some Andrew Toles. Hope wherever you are, my man, you're doing good, and we want to see you back on that diamond at some point, man. Hopefully it's in Dodger blue. Love Andrew Toles. Wallace, I'm with you. The bullpen was great. Yes, that's what I've said. I've preached that this whole year with this show. We only talk about the bullpen when it's not doing well, right? We only scream and bring out the pitchforks. And look, there was a point where I was feeling just absolutely despondent about the bullpen, right? But they're starting to put it together. And if you look, 2 earned runs in this homestand, Julio Urias, that guy's fire. Julio Urias has elite level stuff, and you saw what he can do. And they're still working him back. They're still getting him back to being his best. And if you look at Julio Urias, he today, if you look at it if you look at him too, he's that fastball is just the location of it. Today on Longoria, when he struck out Longoria, the placement and command on that fastball, the top inner half of the plate, he just paints that corner. Over 60% of his pitches are on that heater. And then also, he's a guy, what I love about Julio Urias is he had base runners. He had first and third. With 1 out, and then a 3. Then if you look at 3, that changeup, he was getting outs on that changeup. So I love the way. I think he's a guy who's battle tested. Julio Urias. If you saw him in Milwaukee, pitched last year in the World Series, he's rested. Yes, he's faced some adversity off the field, but I'm very high on him. I love the way he can mix up that changeup, slider, and that fastball location. Very high on him. So he's a guy who I'm all about. I love that tattoo. By the way, I can't really see it though. That Nunca Rendir's tattoo. That one that Joe Davis was talking about. So he's a guy that you can tell mentally. He's a guy that really is not afraid to challenge anyone, and he's poised and does not lose control when runners are on base. So he's a guy that I'm telling you, Julio Urias, we are going to be singing his praises, and he's going to be a guy who will be a household name come October. Watch out for Julio Urias. I'm with you. Bullpen was great. Danny, I hope we don't make it to the World Series just to get beat by Houston or New York. We don't want that embarrassment. That is from my man Danny. Now, I disagree with you. Look, yes, you don't want to be that team that loses 3 consecutive World Series like the Giants did way back in the early 1900s, and you also don't want to be a team. But look, that's what baseball is. That's what baseball is. Look what Tommy Lasorda said. The best possible thing in baseball is winning the World Series. The second best thing is losing the World Series. And I'm in agreement with Tommy Lasorda on that one. Someone said the magic number is Tommy Lasorda, number 2. And I think so too, because you can't win a World Series unless you are in a World Series. So that's my ideology. Hey, if we went to the next 10 World Series and lost, I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with that, one, because that would be one of the most bizarre sports stories in history. But also, hey, that's it, man. That the anxiety, the nerves of October, I'm with it. Hey, and it stings. It stings. It gives me, look, I won't be afraid to admit, I'll cry myself to sleep. I'll cry myself to sleep. I'll get a couple gallons of Ben and Jerry's, and I'll do all the things I do when the Dodgers lose a game and lose a World Series. But hey, you got to keep knocking on the door. One of these days, they're going to knock that door down. And in my opinion, I know this has been the dog days of summer, but I still fully believe that this is going to culminate in a World Series when we hit October. Because no one said this series this year was going to be easy. No one said they were going to march their way all throughout the season. But here we go. Party starts. We got John Isles. How you doing, my man? The Braves had won only their third straight division title in 1995. There was no postseason. Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, they won it. Yeah, exactly. Well, they won it on their fourth try, I believe. I believe didn't the Braves win on their fourth try for the Atlanta Braves? I think that was what it was. They also won the strike year was the year that would have probably been the Montreal Expos if they got it done that year. But if you look at it, they won the World Series. Yeah, they won the World Series in 1995. So yeah, they did win in 95. But I think it was the. But anyways, yeah, let's get back to you guys. I lost my comments here. Oh, whoops. There we go. We got my man. Dodgers have a lot of issues not looking good from Dodger Town, USA. The issues, I would say, are, one, getting that starting pitching right. That starting pitching, that has been the bell cow for this team. That has been what has led this team to the record it has today. The Dodgers, they're 93-52, in large part to that starting pitching, and getting guys like Kershaw, getting Ryu back into ace form, getting Walker Buehler to pitching his very best baseball is very important. But I'm telling you, adding depth to that bullpen and getting a bullpen down pat, I think it's very big. What do you guys? I have a question for you guys. What do you guys think about? There's another post-game show. David Vassegh, he's talking about Will Smith potentially having a negative impact on these starters. What do you guys think about that? I think, look, yes, it's a hot take, but I think there could be some truth to that. Look, guys, especially pitchers, they're creatures of habit. You know about Clayton Kershaw's relationship with A.J. Ellis. So it's possible, but to me, and if you look at it too, the numbers, it's really the walks. The walks, and I'm not saying that it's a reason to have Austin Barnes be the catcher again. Me, I am 100% Will Smith. We saw Grandal went in the tank. Grandal hit like under 200 on base percentage in the NLCS last year, right? I'm not saying Austin Barnes should be the catcher. He's a great receiver. Will Smith is my postseason catcher until further notice, because the power that he provides when he's right, to me, is a deal breaker. And the Dodgers, they can't have any guaranteed outs. We need him down there, and you know he's going to come through. And also, Dave Roberts was talking about there was a mechanical issue in his swing that they've since worked out. But if you look at it, Austin Barnes catching, if you look at it too, Hyun-Jin Ryu with Will Smith catching, Hyun-Jin Ryu is, if you look at Russell Martin catching Hyun-Jin Ryu, 116 and 2/3 innings, a 1.7 ERA, 15 walks, and 2.23 opponent's average. Austin Barnes, 13 innings, a 2.08 ERA, 0 walks, and 2.40 average. So 2.08 with Austin Barnes, a 1.7 with Russell Martin, and then Will Smith, 26 and a third innings, a 5.81 ERA and 8 walks, and 306 average allowed. Now, this could be just something bad timing, right? If Will Smith caught him early in the year, he's probably getting a fresh Hyun-Jin Ryu, right? He's probably getting a Hyun-Jin Ryu that was working all 4 quadrants and working all of his pitches. He's not that same guy. He's really relying on a couple pitches now, fastball, changeup. So to me, it's more of a timing thing. But the walks are a little staggering, and then if you look at Clayton Kershaw, the walks could be something too. If you look at Clayton Kershaw Austin Barnes, 104 innings, a 3.03 ERA with 18 walks and a 2.09 average allowed. And then Will Smith, 42 innings, a 3.43 ERA, 17 walks, and opponents are hitting 255. So the numbers might suggest that, yes, Austin Barnes and Hyun-Jin Ryu have that Clayton Kershaw and Hyun-Jin Ryu have more success with Austin Barnes behind the plate. But to me, it has a lot to do with timing, has a lot to do with the dog days of summer, has a lot to do with fatigue. Look, Clayton Kershaw, above 30, 32. Hyun-Jin Ryu, he's 32. It's not like they're in their absolute prime like a Walker Buehler. So I do think it's something. But look, like I said, the net benefits of Will Smith far outweigh anything. And look, that's something that has to be worked out. Someone said, like Dodger Town, the Dodgers have a lot of issues. If there's an issue, keep developing in that chemistry. One of the reasons why we have been beating the drum for Will Smith earlier was because, like I was saying, the sooner we get him up here, the sooner he can develop that familiarity and that chemistry with guys like Kershaw, guys like Ryu, and our starters. So, hey, that's on the Dodgers staff. It's a two-way street for them. So here we go. We got John Isles. We got party starts on Tuesday from Wilfredo. We got Sean Roberts does not believe in small ball. I think that that's not exclusive to Dave Roberts. I think Dave Roberts has shown a couple times. We had a suicide squeeze this year with Chris Taylor. We had some bunting to get guys across. Matt Beatty stealing bases. I wouldn't totally agree with that. But look, make no secret. It's no secret. The Dodgers. Make no secret about it. The Dodgers are a team that embraces analytics, and one of those analytics that they follow is you got to hit home runs and you got to slug, and that's the recipe for wins. Like we pointed out earlier, the top 5 home run hitting teams this year are the top 5 teams in Major League Baseball. So look, the numbers don't lie. But look, that's what I'm saying. Don't take away the home runs, but also you mix things up. When you get on base, when you start playing small ball, you get in that pitcher's head, start working the count a little bit. And to me, being more of a baseball purist myself, that's why I love this shirt, Brooklyn-born LA Rays, I love to see that element of baseball, a little more of a nuanced, dynamic game. But Nomo FOMO. By the way, Nomo, one of my favorite players growing up. Love Hideo Nomo, man. Now I'm nervous about the DS and CS. That team is streaky. I think, look, if you've been a part of this team, we should always be nervous. Last year, we won a Game 7 on the road, okay? If you saw what happened against the Nationals a few years back, that 5-game series, anything can happen. If the team steals Game 1, there's a sense of urgency. So the reality is, every series is going to be nerve-wracking. Every pitch, we're going to be on pins and needles. We're not going to have nails at the end of this postseason like every year. But I think the Nationals, I mean, they've been playing like their winning percentage in their they're playing like 650 is their winning percentage in recent months. So they're very hot, and they got guys that can hit. Rendon is still fire. And then you got that 3-headed monster with Corbin Strasburg. Remember Strasburg, there was a 10 a.m. start. Man, he shut the Dodgers down. He just dominated the Dodgers early this year. And you got Max Scherzer. But also their bullpen is trash water, okay? Their bullpen is a dumpster fire. And this Dodger team, that's their MO. They work your starter, hopefully get to that bullpen by innings 5, 6, 7. And at that point, I think we're going to see this Dodger offense really when they're firing all cylinders is when, look, if Verdugo doesn't come back, maybe he misses the division series, but look, you can reshuffle that deck every series moving past that. So I don't think, look, I'm always nervous, okay? So I'm with you on that, but I don't think that the Dodgers are going to will lose. I think this team, the depth that they have, I think you're going to see this. We're going to really see the depth of the bullpen. We've already started to see it. Look, 2 earned runs in this homestand. This homestand, they went 4-2, in large part to the consistency of that bullpen. Now, Kenley Jansen, we don't have to talk about him today, but that's something we're going to be keeping a close eye to and monitoring very closely. So here we go. We got Joseph Megazzini as Roberts playing with the idea of openers on the mound. Hey, look, if you saw Clayton Kershaw, he pitched well the first couple innings in his last outing. His ERA over 5 in the first inning. So if there's a guy you mess with in that standpoint, you might consider that. But I would say no. I would say Dodgers aren't a team that would mess with starters, with openers. If you look at Tampa Bay, they lead with ERA, and that in large part it's because they've embraced that philosophy. But when you look, we've seen in years past, this team has got, look, this is the thing too, though. So if you want to break down some Dodger pitching, if we're using the last couple of weeks to talk about Dodger pitching, then there's cause for concern because look, the Dodgers, their starting pitchers eat innings. Their starting pitchers eat innings, and that's been the major asset of this team. But if you look at it too, just want to pull up a stat right here. Give me 1 second here. So last 15 games, the starters are 3-7, and the Dodgers have gone 7-8 in that stretch. And look, ERA 3.16. That's best in the NL. 3.16 for the entire season. But in the last 15, ERA of 5.5. So in that stretch, what's been hurting the Dodgers in that stretch is their starters' inability to go past 5. If you look at Clayton Kershaw, by the way, he's kicking coolers. What do you guys think about that? I thought it was fine. Hey, throw that rage out there, let it out on that cooler. That's what I do to coolers when it's out of beer. So I wasn't too upset about it. But if you look at Clayton Kershaw, he hasn't gone 6 in back-to-back starts. So before that, he hadn't gone 6 innings in just one of his previous 39 starts. So he's a guy we've seen this season. He can give you 6 starts, pretty much a guarantee. But yeah, the Dodgers stars, they need them to go deep. They need them to go at least 5, and then you can work this bullpen with guys like Maeda, guys like Tony Gonsolin when he makes his way to the bullpen. We'll see how Dustin May looks to close out this last 18 games. But if you look at it, they're averaging less than 5 innings per start in the last 15 games. Last starter to go more than 5 was who? You guys know who it was? It was Walker Buehler back on the 25th of August in San Diego. So here we go. We got Wilfredo, not me, no mofomo. Why not let Barnes and Russ pitch a few games and let Will rest? He's not hitting anyway. So you want Russell Martin. And look, like I said, I'm very curious to see how Will Smith does. Look, Dave Roberts said himself, he wouldn't just say that they've identified a mechanical flaw. And you look like he was a little bit of a long swing. If you looked at when he first came up, that swing was nice and compact. He was just working it through the zone. He was hitting breaking balls for home runs. So we're going to see those adjustments that he's going to make, and that's what great players do. That's what we rely on, is making adjustments, and now we're going to see Will Smith in that stretch. Look, Alex Verdugo's a guy started very hot. Alex Verdugo doesn't even feel like a rookie, but he hit a dip, and then he made adjustments. But Kershaw is done. Astros will rack him easily. John Gotti, welcome to the Dodgers Nation postgame show. You can troll if you want to. Everyone's welcome here. Hey, man, opposing teams helps the ratings. I love it. Dodger Town, my concern is with Kershaw giving him home runs. Imagine him pitching against the Astros. That's why I've said, hey, with Clayton Kershaw, you want to keep him in the Chavez Ravine. You want to keep him at Dodger Stadium because, look, we saw what happened. We saw what happened in when he pitched in Houston in the 2017 World Series. He got absolutely rocked, and that's the more of a hitter's park. And if you saw him too, Kershaw, that's the thing. With Kershaw, he doesn't have the stuff to misfire on his command. He's a guy, his velocity, we know what it is. We know that it averages just above 90. And if he's hanging stuff, if he's going middle, then guys are going to hit that out, especially in this era, this home run happy era of Major League Baseball. He's got to just continue to rely on that 12-6 curve. He's got to rely on that slider / cutter. He doesn't like to call it a cutter, but to me, if you look at him, Clayton Kershaw, his home run rate, it's at 1.4 right now. 1.4 home runs per 9. That is a career high. His previous high was 1.2. Back in 2017. So look, he's a guy, we know he gives up dingers. It's just a matter of not walking guys. If it's a solo shot here and there, we know we can take it. If it's getting up 2-3 runs on solo shots, that's something. But if guys are getting hard contact and guys are getting on base and then it starts ballooning up, then that is an issue. That is an issue. If you look at it, if you look at in Houston, if you look at it, second here. Against Houston, his ERA was over 4, and let's see what his home run. His home run rate was 1.1. So his home run rate was 1.1, and against Houston, and then against Chicago was 1.6. So those numbers are pretty consistent with what he's given up now. So look, we know what we're going to get with Kershaw, and we know that at some point, he's a competitor. He's going to find a way to try to get that ball down. Got to avoid keeping it high. Trust that slider. Trust that curveball. And look, that Astros lineup, they're going to have success against elite pitching, okay? Let alone Clayton Kershaw. So we're going to need to do it with the bats ourselves if we want any hope of doing that. We got Schmo panic time, but I don't think we need to push the panic button. The Dodgers are 10-10 in their last 20, but they're going to get that division. They're going to get it in Baltimore. They're going to pop bottles in B-more. And look, and this thing about this Dodger team, look, we're in Baltimore. It's not coming down to the wire, okay? This team is going to have this thing wrapped up in record time, and so it's going to allow them to get rest, allow them to work out any issues that they may have heading into the postseason. But here we go. We got Randall. What's up, Doug? What up, Randall? Rich Hill isn't Rich Hill pitching Tuesday? Yeah, we talked about it a little bit to open things up. Rich Hill is expected to be back Thursday, and he had a simulated session, felt really good in the simulated. Excited to get Rich Hill back, a 2.55 ERA this year with a 1.11 whip on 53 innings of work. Also a 2.6 postseason ERA. We saw him have great starts. We also saw him have premature exits in some great starts. 2017 Game 2 comes to mind, then also Game 4 of last year's World Series. So I think it could be something that's very positive for the Dodgers because look, that flexor muscle was no joke. They're worried it could be something more than that. He's 39. He's gonna have a couple more great runs at it, but he's a free agent, so he wants to get paid. Really want to see what we're doing here. Elm Street Rams. Let me take some water here. Wilfredo Cordoza, great show. Thanks, my man. How you doing, player? Hey, man, thank yourself. Thank you guys. You guys really make the show with all your takes, so keep those takes coming in. John Gotti, Elm Street. I've seen that movie before. Wilfredo, you keep it real. I definitely keep it real, baby. That's what we do. Hey, that's why you tune into this show, right? Because we don't work for the Dodgers, right? We can say whatever we want, and that the fan perspective is really a big thing to me. That's why I call myself, I'm the man of the fan, because we always know this year we've gotten it right on most cases. But John Isles can't disagree with you about being nervous, Doug. Come October, millions of baseball fans are going to start feeling nervous on a national scale. Absolutely. The nerves of October are real, man. Look, I love football. I love basketball. But look, you can turn your head away for a second, right? The little run play, 2-yard gang, this and that. In baseball, I'm locked in every single pitch. We are going to be exhausted because we're concentrating. But, hey, it's a wild ride. We love this sport. You guys are seam heads for a reason, right? Tina G-Man Clayton was frustrated, but he needs to step up. The playoffs will be starting soon. It's put up or shut up time for them all. Absolutely. Tina G-Man, couldn't agree with you more. John Gotti, Jansen, and Kershaw is the problem for the Dodgers if we don't win the World Series. That's a possibility. That's a possibility that two of those names could be a contributing factor for why they won't win a World Series or why they will win a World Series. Let's hope it's the latter and not the former. But hey, I can't disagree with you. I'm not. Hey, I've been pretty rough on Kenley Jansen all season long. If you look at him, that ERA is a career high. Those home runs are a career high, and those blown saves. So we know it. Clayton could have been hurt kicking the cooler. That's true, right? Hey, he could have. He could have been hurt clicking the. With that one, I want that Bulldog autograph baseball. Hey, me too, man. I want that. You want that Buell dog, right? That Buell dog. That's what Real FRG calls them. Yay, Magic number 22. Nomo Fomo, Ryu, Bueller, Kershaw. All play better home, but someone's got to play away games. Hill, I think Rich Hill. I also think Walker Buehler. I like Walker Buehler. And look, Walker Buehler has the best stuff. Last year he lit up Game 3, But I want to see him. And then also game 163, he pitched in Milwaukee. So I'm a big fan of seeing Rich Hill as that road starter because to me he's got the maturity and he's got the stuff. He can and do soft contact. One of the best velocity differentials on that curveball, and I'm really just excited to see what happens when he comes back. Rich Hill. So he's a guy that I would definitely want to zero in on. But one second here, my comments fell out. Here we go, John Gotti. I'm a Dodgers fan, but they get me mad. That's why I talk the way I do. I'm not trolling. I just tell you like it is. Sometimes people don't get the truth. Yeah, you said it best, my man. Hey, no, I'm not saying you're trolling, by the way. I'm not saying you're trolling. We get opposing fan bases, fans up in here. I know you're not, John. You've been rocking with us all season long, and your perspective is very much appreciated. So I'd rather you guys keep it real. Keep it 100. That's what we do here on this show. So that's why you guys rock with us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Dodger Town, USA. Bellinger need to hit the ball the other way, plus take more walks. Be nice if you can steal a base or two. Great points there. Look, he's got great speed. He's a guy that we saw him flirting with hitting the opposite way, and that is what's going to get him back to hitting. Look, I think his average dip maybe to 306 today, right? Or 306, 307. If you look at Cody Bellinger in the last 7 games, Cody Bellinger's hitting 286. So that's an uptick because the last 30 Cody Bellinger, he's been hitting 253. Post All-Star break, remember pre-All-Star break, we're talking about, hey, should he hit 400? Could he hit 400? Post All-Star break, he's hitting 253. So he's a guy you want to consistently start hitting about 280, 290. Still tied for that NL lead. Got 44 jacks, tied with Yelich, tied with a bunch of guys. I think Alonso's ahead of him now, right? 45, Trout. So he's still in that mix for the home run crown, and I still think he's going to win the NL MVP. Here we go, Randon. To be honest, the Rockies made me nervous, but from the defensive standpoint, the rookies. Yeah, you got to get that experience in there. Gavin Lux, early in the year, he was having the yips. Steve Stacks went out there, worked with them. Dodger Town, the show is awesome. Let go of my steam. Hey, exactly. Hey, this is a catharsis for you guys. Let it all out here, and then you celebrate. Hello, Anthony. Hit just 103 subscribers. What's up, man? Congratulations. That's quite a feat. It's quite quite accomplishment. Dodger Town. Randall Bellinger seems to be pressing. I think there's a little bit of that. I think there's a little bit of pressing. He knows how many opportunities we saw with Matt Kemp when he lost to Ryan Braun. You only have so many opportunities to win an MVP. That's an elite award. It's like Academy. It's like the Heisman Trophy. It's like the Academy Award for Best Actor. It's a very prestigious award, and it's within his grasp. So I think there's that too. I also think that teams are pitching around him. He's Cody Bellinger. He can go deep on you with one swing. So I think there's that as well. But the reality with Cody Bellinger is he's still getting those home runs, and but he's a guy that really has to prove to us too that we need him in the postseason to come around. Last year, I think he hit like 43 in the. He really had a very difficult World Series last year. Samuel, I'm not sure if the Yankees or Astros are even going to be in the ALCS. The Twins and Indians are looking very scary. Samuel, that's a great point. That's really a great point because this entire season it's been Yankees, it's been Astros. Not a lot of people want to talk about that Twins team, but hey, man, they got like 4 guys over 30 home runs basically. I mean, they're a team that is a dangerous team, and we saw in previous years that you just don't know what you're going to see. And then the Indians, they got healthy at the right time. It would be wild to see Yasiel Puig in the opposite dugout against the Dodgers in the World Series. I do not want to see the wild horse going against our boys in blue. Dodgertown Walker, when he is on, can shut down anybody, even the Astros. That's what I've been saying. He has the best stuff as far as velocity, as far as swing and miss bat stuff. No one has more of that than Walker Buehler. I'm with you 100%. Samuel, I'm not sure if the Yankees or Astros are okay. I got it. John, got to keep up the good work, my man. I love your show. Hey, man. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Hey, we're gonna have a wild ride, man. This show has had a pretty crazy year, but man, I'm gonna have to make sure my internet and everything is going good here at this studio, because we know that this postseason we're gonna turn it up. We're gonna crank it up about 20 notches, because postseason is just around the corner, and that's what we're playing for. Who would you guys have as your game one starter, though? Would you guys go? I know it sounds crazy to go with Clayton Kershaw because of Hyun-Jin Ryu and Walker Buehler. He probably doesn't have the best stuff of that trio, but game one, he gets it done like it did in 2017. You throw out there Hyun-Jin Ryu in game two, then Walker Buehler in game three, or you could flip-flop Hyun-Jin Ryu and Clayton Kershaw. So, but let's see what else we guys want to talk about today. Let me check out. Is there anything I want to bring with you guys? But thanks for rocking with us. If you have not, you guys, what's the football game on tonight? I think it's the Patriots Steelers. Who you got? How about this? And everyone say, oh, the Dodgers could be like the Buffalo Bills. We will not be the Buffalo Bills, even though they do have the same colors, really, blue and red. We will not be the Buffalo Bills. We gotta keep those vibes high, keep that up, because the Dodgers, I'm telling you guys, I do think that it's a lot of questions right now. There's a lot of adversity, but hey, Chris Taylor, Kike Hernandez have come back from the IL doing very well. Last year, what do you guys think the Dodger team has this year that they didn't have in the previous two World Series runs that's going to get it done this year? To me, I think it's the surplus of extended relief in the bullpen. When you throw in guys there like a Gonsolin, like potentially a Dustin May, like a Kenta Maeda, like a Julio Urias, and then this offense has proven to be more dynamic. I think you add guys like Verdugo, Will Smith. If we're going to get some punch from that catcher spot, I think that could be big. Also, give me Corey Seager. Corey Seager really has Corey Seager is a guy that is starting to turn around. He hit that home run today. But Corey Seager, I think that he comes back in there, and I think this team is just much more equipped to deal with it. And also, don't underestimate the value of the experience. Guys like Seager and Bellinger, Kike, Chris Taylor, they've been in these battles, and at some point, you just got to seize the moment and win that World Series. But I do think that with Will Smith, you got to get it together. If you look at Will Smith, first 28 big league games for the Fresh Prince, he had a 318 average, a 1,200 OPS, 12 home runs, and 102 plate appearances. But he's 7 for his last 40, for $175, and that's after a 2-hit game Saturday. So he's hitting 175 with 16 strikeouts and only 1 home run in his last 43 plate appearances. So getting him to be that offensive dynamo that he was earlier in the year, to me, is going to be big time, because the Dodgers, like we've seen, look, everyone wants to talk about this team. I give you the numbers. When the Dodgers score 4 runs or more, they're winning. There's 60 games above 500. Everyone will talk about the arms, but it is the bats that are ultimately going to determine the Dodgers' fate in October. But what else I want to tell you guys? Here we go. But do you guys feel that postseason coming on? It feels like the fall. I'm telling you, man, I feel like we're going to blink, and it's going to be game one of that NLDS, and it is going to be on. It is going to be on. I can't wait. But, hey, don't underestimate. We got baseball to play for. We have that World Series home field advantage. And with the Braves, like I told you, last 20 games for the Braves, they're 17-3, Dodgers 10-10. So you got to hold off the Braves. And also, you want to start playing your best baseball. You want to peak at the right time, and that's what this team will attempt to do. But here we go. We got Samuel. The Twins and Indians have been knocking on the door to get the ALCS in the last season. Look, the Twins, the Indians. Hey man, the Indians were a rain delay away of getting their World Series title. But it went to the Cubs. I mean, the Indians, they're a team that is essentially as desperate, if not more, than the Dodgers as far as wanting to win a World Series. They haven't won one since 1948, and unless you count the Major League, if you count, no, it's kidding. But But because that just felt like a World Series. It was such a phenomenon. Pedro Serrano, my favorite Indian of all time. But you're right. The Indians are a team that's been knocking on the door for quite some time, and they're a team that's going to want to put it together. And they're getting guys back at the right time. The Indians. I want to see what the Indians their last 10 is. They win today. They're about 80. They're 83-61, and they beat those Twins in a showdown. The Indians are starting to really hit. The Indians, man. If you look at the Indians, man, let's look at their numbers, bro. Wahoo's gone. They're rocking with the C on the lid, which I'm cool with. Man, it would be heartbreaking. I have to admit, man. We see Yasiel Puig in the World Series, but yeah. Lindor, but yeah, you're right. I mean, the Indians are raking, and the Minnesota Twins, I still think their reliance on the long ball that could ultimately work against them. And also, Pineda got suspended 60 games for PEDs, if you saw that. And look at their pitching. They got Barrios is good. Barrios is good. Perez, but they're out there with their fifth starting pitcher. If they have the pitching to get it done, it remains to be seen. If they have the pitching to get past those Bronx Bombers and that ferocious Astros offense, I just don't really see it. But it's definitely possible. Here, back to you guys. Keep losing my comments here. We got Claire. Oh, forgot about this. Watching the tennis. Who won? Was it Rafael Nadal? Man, he's catching up on Roger Federer. Man, he's probably gonna get that tie him with majors up in the French Open. Tina Jim, the Rams didn't play anyone in the preseason. The first two games will be their preseason. I saw they won today. A lot of turnovers, but Ed Jackson. If we can continue to grind out at bats, we will score. Exactly, and that's the difference with this team. When they had that struggle, when they went through that dip, when they were stuck in the mud, it was first pitch swinging. Some guys can do it effectively. We see it with Corey Seager, but you do want to work that count, get that pitch count up, and that is definitely the approach and a calculated move by this Dodger team. Just get Puig to hit back to the pitcher, LOL, Randall. Claire, 2-1 sets to Rafa. Oh, it's still on. Lemonade, Astros are very scary. Claire, 4-4 in the fourth. Don't forget about the A's. Hey, man. The A's are a fun team to watch. I cannot hate on the A's, man. They're a team that I just watch in the AL, man. I love Moneyball, and the way they're able to do what they do with with the payroll that the way they maximize their scouting department, to me, is just very, very impressive. But I don't think the A's too. They're also a young team, but the A's, they're a team that you gotta love Olsen out there. He's probably the best. Definitely has to be in conversation with the best defensive first baseman in baseball. He's got 29 jacks. Profar, Simeon, Chapman. They're a team you never know. They get hot too. They can make a run. But we're going to be back with you guys Tuesday. Looks like we're closing in on that 1 hour mark. Like I said, don't forget to retweet and share. Thanks for rocking with us, as always, here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Magic number is down to 2. Next time I see you guys, I think they're off tomorrow, right? They're off tomorrow, but it's possible. But we're going to be celebrating that 7th straight division title very shortly here. The Dodgers, they get the win tonight against the Giants. They win the series finale. So thanks for rocking with us, guys. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. That's at DMAC_LA. But thanks again, guys. Thanks for rocking with us. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Let's go Dodgers. Give me a Let's Go Dodgers in the comments. Let's go Dodgers. And I'm out.